Hello everyone, welcome to Mindfigured Psychology. So today we are here for free live webinar on what to say in your first therapy session. Most of the time we tend to really undermine the first session, but it is everything. It is everything in a way that it is going to determine the client is going to come again or not. Client आपके पास फिर से आएंगे या नहीं. It is also going to determine how the client is going to open up with you. So this is so important, and we are here to talk about this. Here is a little bit about me. I am Suhana Verma. I am in the final year of completing my PhD from OP Jindal Global University. I am also a certified UCLA counselor, and I have also completed MA in clinical psychology and a certified organizational psychologist too. So far, I have worked with 1000 plus individuals. I have also worked with individuals across 8 plus countries. I have also worked with students. So, I have also worked with corporates. We have partnered with 50 plus corporates so far. So, this is a little bit about me. So, by the end of today's session, you will know how to really confidently open up your first session. What are the exact phrases that you can use in your therapy session for the clients to open up? Next, the five-phase structure that we will use that is created by me based on so much of research. Then we will also understand mistakes we as a beginner tend to make. And by the end of this webinar, you would have the proper confidence in running your first therapy session. So now, think about the moment the client is in front of you and you are completely blank. You are prepared, you have studied everything, college में सब कुछ पढ़ा है, but still you feel so unprepared. If you feel like this webinar is just for you. So the fear most people have is like, what would I say to my client in the first session? What if the client cries? What if I say something wrong and it makes things worse? What if I don't look normal or confident enough? These fears are okay. It's okay. If you are a beginner therapist, it's okay to have this fear. But we have to find the solution, and this webinar is that solution. So far in colleges, you learn about theories, disorders, research, techniques, etc. What about the application? So, this is what we are doing today. So, first, we will understand the five-phase framework. So, first phase is welcome. Like, I'll just do it very briefly. We will delve deeper into more details in the upcoming session. Second, you explore, understand why they really came. Then you understand the person behind the problem. You go much deeper into it. Then you set the goals like this is what is going to be the goal for the next 1 week for this session. Then you close, you end safely and clearly because closing is also an art. A lot of times people don't know how to close the session. They're like, okay, bye, the session is over. Thank you so much for coming. No, this is not the right way. So what happens is that first and most important is you make them feel welcome. You welcome them. For example, if the relatives come to your home, you would always say welcome, right? You would not say why are you here? Why have you come? That would be so rude. So to make and form a rapport, and the first few minutes are very important, honestly. So you do this. Welcome. I'm really glad you're here. So before we begin, I want you to know that this is a very safe and confidential space. There is no right or wrong ways to talk. You can open up about everything. I'm here for you. So when you are speaking in such manner, imagine someone is talking to you like this. You would instantly get really comfortable talking about your issues, right? So this is what you do. You don't say, why are you here? Why have you come for a therapy session? Can you tell me? You will never start like this. Don't do this mistake. Second is explore. Now you understand why the client really came. Now, like you have welcomed the neighbor, now you are trying to understand their motive. You don't do it directly, why are you here? Why have you come to my house? You don't talk like that, right? Similarly, in therapy also, you start like, what brings you here today? Can we talk about that? What would you what would you most like to focus on today? And you can also talk like this. What has been going on for you lately? Okay, so you say what brings you here. If the client seems unsure, honestly, you say what has been going on for you lately. Here you don't interrupt, just listen to them. This is the listening time. Third phase is deepen. You're trying to understand the person behind the problem now. अब क्लाइंट की नीड्स क्या है वो उसने फेज टू में बता दिया जब आप एक्सप्लोर कर रहे थे सो आई एम फॉर एग्जांपल इफ दे आर गोइंग थ्रू रिलेशनशिप इश्यूज दे वुड बी लाइक सो आई हैव हैड messy breakup and I'm having trouble handling it. So if a client says like this, you know their needs now. So this is what you do in exploration phase. Now you deepen. So here the goal is to understand the person behind the problem. This is the most important part of the whole session. You are not diagnosing, remember, you are understanding. So here it has five dimensions. You understand how long has this been happening. So for example, if there is a client who has gone through a messy breakup, so when did it happen? Can you talk about that? So see if you know the duration now. Then you try to understand क्यों हुआ, कैसे हुआ, like how did it happen, what made it happen. So you are understanding the trigger now. Okay. Next, impact. What impact it is having in their life, their relationship, work, sleep patterns, and even their diet. So here you actually ask your client, how have you been sleeping lately? Or how is your work going on since you are having trouble moving on? Can you share that? Okay, so here we are trying to understand what is their current situation. वो कितने पानी में है ये समझना बहुत जरूरी है. Impact क्या हो रहा है? For example, diet. They like the client says, I'm not eating well at all. I just eat once in a day. Next is coping, like what they are doing to cope. For example, one of the clients said that they smoke a lot in order to feel little better. So that is a coping. We need to understand what tools they are using as well. So this is what we are going to do in deepen phase. Next, we also ask them what kind of support system they have. What is the support they have around them, right? So this is what we are going to do. Again, I'll repeat. So, in deepening phase, you understand the person behind the problem, what, when, how, why, whom, etc. Everything. So you understand how long has this been happening, the duration, trigger, what made it happen. Like here, you understand why did the breakup happen, what really made it happen. Then you understand its impact, what impact it is having in his life. For example, work, relationship, sleep, diet. Next, you understand what are the tools he's using so far, if he has a support system or not. So here you are deepening. You are understanding everything in detail. Okay? So you say, you mentioned this has been going on for a while. Can you tell me more about it? When it first started? And when it happens, what does it feel like for you? So this is how you make them feel comfortable. So this is how they will talk next. You mentioned this has been going on for a while. Can you share more about it? So when you're using the statement, can you talk more about it? Can you share? You're giving them the freedom that they can talk about their problem. You don't say, tell me everything. Please don't ever make this mistake. Tell me everything what happened. No, don't make this mistake. You give them the freedom. Can you share more about that? Can you share those moments? Next you do is set goals. Now you understood the problem, you went deeper into the problem also. Now you have to make goals. Now we are going into the solution part of the therapy. Now we are setting the direction for the therapy. Okay, so you simply say, What are you seeking from this therapy? What are you looking for from this therapy? Or what is your expectation from this therapy? So you can say, what is the expectation from this therapy session? This is the best way. Then you are writing down the notes. The client says, I want to recover faster, or I need someone who wants to listen, etc. So these are the goals which are set in a therapy session. Or I want to control my thought patterns. So this is one of the goals too. And last phase here is close. Closing is so important now. Here the goal is to end the session safely, clearly, and with utmost care. You can never end the session very abruptly. You're like, you cannot say the time is up, you leave, the session is over. You can never say that. Or you cannot say the session is over, can you please leave? Or you cannot say this also, this the time is up, can we reschedule? No, this is wrong. Even if you might be saying in polite way, but this is bad way to end the session. Imagine if the relationship ends on ambiguous note. You will never like it. You will never like it. You would be like, what happened? You would be in the questioning phase. क्या हुआ, कब हुआ, कैसे हुआ? You would be like, what happened, when it happened, etc. You would have so many confusion and questions. We don't want this to happen for our clients too. So that's why we make sure the closing is done properly. So this is the four-step process we follow. You summarize. You reflect on what you heard today. Then you validate. You say, I truly respect. You are so strong. You want to work on your issues. It takes real courage. Then you give them a small action. So, for example, try journaling for this week. Then you ask for their feedback, how they are feeling now. So here you say, I hope you are feeling little better now. You don't say that how are you feeling now? If you say that, the whole session would start again. They would start telling more about it. So it's the better ways. I hope you are feeling little better now. Okay, because one therapy session is not a magic pill that is going to solve everything, right? So here you can also use this phrase as well. It's up to you. Before we end, I want to reflect what we discussed today. You came in carrying a lot of emotions, and I want to acknowledge how much courage it takes to talk about it. For this week, I'd like you to do the simple task. Notice when you feel this emotion, and then you write those down. You try journaling. I hope you are feeling little better now. Now we would meet next week to discuss the progress. This is the best way to end the session. Next, these are the word for word therapy phrases we tend to use in the session that you can also adapt from it. You can also take a screenshot if you want. So first one is reflective listening. So if you say, so if I'm understanding correctly, what you are saying is this is how you speak. So, if I am understanding correctly, you are reflecting, you are showing you are there for them, you're listening. Next is emotional reflection. So, here you say, it sounds like you're feeling very overwhelmed by this. Okay, so now you are reflecting on their emotion part. Here, what you were doing in reflection, understanding part. These are the important key phrases. Understanding here, feeling overwhelmed. Next is validation. You say what you are experiencing sounds very difficult, and it makes sense that you feel this way. See, the tone should also be like this, the way I just said. And you have to validate them that I'm here for you. I will be taking care of you. Next is clarifying. You say, when you say you feel stuck, what does it mean for you? So here you are clarifying. So for example, you are not misinterpreting it. So you need to clarify. Okay. Last is summarizing. So this is mainly used at the end, but you can also use in between. So today we spoke about your stress at work, the way it's affecting your sleep, how that creates issues in your relation. Does that feel accurate? So here you have summarized. So this is one of the ways to make them feel heard. So far we discussed about reflective listening, that is about understanding part. Emotional reflection about the feelings part. Validation, that you are there for them. Then you can clarify as well. Then you summarize. What should you do if the client is silent? वो बस चुप है. Therapy session में client is completely silent all the time. What would you do? Like he has talked about one thing and then he's silent from there. So in those moments, you acknowledge their silence also. Take your time. I'm right here for you. It's okay to sit with this for a moment. I'm here for you. Okay? So this is how you convey this. Next, what happens if the client cries? Honestly, don't panic. Crying is a sign of trust. It means that they are ready to open up so much. They can ready to open up so much that they are able to show what they are going through. And it takes real courage. And it is happening. It means they are trusting you. It's not a wrong thing. So don't panic. So just be there. Now you might feel if they are crying, what should I do next? What should I do next? No, relax. It's okay. So as a therapist, you just be there. Don't do anything. You can say that it's completely okay. Take your time. Or if it is an offline session, you can say, please have some water. You can offer tissues. So this is how you deal with these situations. You can say, I can see this is so painful. You don't have to hold this alone. I'm here for you too. So see, if someone says like this, how validated they would feel. You never say, don't cry, everything will be fine. I know how you feel. No, don't say that. For example, even if you say this statement, I know how you feel, this might this might backfire. So here you understand, as far as I understand, this is what you mean. Instead of saying this line, this phrase. Okay, now the situation is you don't know what to say as a therapist. That can happen. It's okay. It does happen. So in these situations, say, thank you so much for sharing that. That feels really important. Let's give it a moment. Okay. So here, this is how you are trying to acknowledge them. So even if there is little pause in the sessions, it's okay. It's not a bad thing. Pause also gives the client sometimes the time to reflect also. So don't be in the rush to fill that silence. Silence is important too. So now we will discuss the common mistakes people tend to make. First is giving advice too early. No, don't do this. First listen. Advice comes after understanding. Just be there for them, validate. This is what the first session is mostly like. Be there for them, validate, understand their problems, and then you give them the brief solution. This is how the first session is like. Second, you assume feelings. Don't do this. You don't say you must be devastated. How has this been for you? No, don't say this. Let them tell you. Third is client taking pain home. You can never let your client feel emotionally overwhelmed. They are never going to come back if they feel they are still in pain after taking session. This is the worst thing. So for this, you can ask them to do maybe post grounding exercise. For example, last week I had a client who cried a lot in the session, was very overwhelmed, and by the end of the session, I made him do a meditation and box breathing exercise. So this is how we do, and we tackle this problem. We make them feel little relaxed at least. Next mistake people tend to make, oversharing personal stories. As a therapist, you can give example from your life. That's okay. But you never overshare. You never keep on talking about you. This is the worst mistake you are making as a therapist. Never overshare. If you do this, counter transference might happen. Like when you are projecting your thought and emotions to the client. and this is not the right thing in a therapy setting. You can give examples from your life, it's okay. Last is ending abruptly. I talked about the importance of good closure, how it feels like. So, a good closure is very important. Therapy is also a relationship between you and the client, right? So, similarly, you have to end the session on a good note. Okay, you have to reserve. Now, you might say the client keeps on talking about the problem. We don't have time to really close properly. So, you do one thing. You reserve at least 5 to 10 minutes for a proper closure. Okay, so for example, if the client keeps on talking, and it does happen a lot, it has happened a lot with me also. In those moments, what I say, thank you so much for sharing. It might have been very difficult for you to open up like that, and it means a lot to me. So, we will be discussing more about this and we will delve much deeper into it in our next session. So from this session, we understood this is the problem and you can do this task today for the upcoming week. We will reflect your progress further in the upcoming week. This is how you handle those endings. So we are running Mindfigured 2-month training program as well from May 25th. And remember, your first therapy session, it does not need to be perfect. Just try. And today I am giving you a task is to try a mock therapy session on anyone and practice everything you have learned. You have learned like all five phrases like welcoming, explore, deepen, and setting goals and then closing properly. You have to try all of it. This is your task. All the very best. I know you can do it. If you practice it, you can do it everything beautifully. Thank you so much for attending today's webinar and listening to me. It means a lot to me that you really came and invested your time and wanted to learn. So in order to get the certificate, even if you are watching through YouTube, you can still apply for it and you can scan here to pay for the certificate. You will be receiving your certificate within 24 hours. And thank you so much. If you are not added in our group, you can scan this code and you can join our WhatsApp community and receive further updates. Like we host webinars every Friday. So, thank you so much. Take care, everyone. See you.